Josemonkey, find me.
You asked me to figure out where this video was recorded, so I did. Hi, I'm josemonkey, and I find people who ask to be found. It's International Week! Guys, I loved this one because I had a bit of a puzzle that I needed to solve in order to find it. And it was very unlike most of my usual searches. So what can we see? This person shared a rather lengthy video. Usually I get video clips that are only like 10 seconds long, but this one's almost 2 minutes. And this person had kind of a lot to say in the introduction.
A challenge. No streets, no street signs, no election signs, no malls, no for sale signs, just some countryside.
As I watched this video, I have to admit I was getting a little bit concerned that there were not a lot of landmarks. Even though the person did a full 360, not once, not twice, but I think 4 times. We could see a beach and this boardwalk path here. And also the surrounding area is kind of like marshy. But like I said, not a lot of landmarks. The person zooms in a bit at a couple different spots and we can see some of these buildings and houses off in the distance. It looked like this one house here was the closest one. I also noticed that we had a bench right here next to the path. And then right at the end of the video, the person comes back on camera and has more to say.
Just for a hint, it makes a nice equilateral triangle with the 2 closest points to it from your map.
Guys, I was immediately intrigued by this. And frankly, while there might be other ways to solve this, once I heard that, I was 100% invested in using that information to find this place. Okay, so an equilateral triangle, as we know, is a triangle that has 3 sides of equal length. If this place could be used to form an equilateral triangle with the 2 other closest locations, that told us something important. That meant that the distance from this location to those 2 locations was the same as the distance between those 2 locations. Okay, but I had to figure out which 2 locations this person was closest to. And guys, I've done hundreds of locations, so it could really be anywhere. Fortunately, I felt as if this person's accent and way of speaking told me that we were probably in the United Kingdom. Now, at the time this video was posted, I had only done 3 locations in the UK. All 3 were in Season 1. The first one was way back in Episode 3 in Walsall, and the other 2 were in Episodes 193 and 212, both in London. So I was pretty sure that this person was not close to the 2 London locations, because that would form a very small triangle. And also, this didn't look like London. So I figured that the 2 closest locations were probably Walsall and one of the London locations. I didn't think it mattered too much which London location I picked, because they're like a kilometer apart. And I don't think we're being overly precise here. So I picked one of those locations, and I checked to see how far away it was from Walsall. And I found that it's 174 kilometers or 108 miles away, which meant that the location where this person was should be roughly that same distance from those 2 locations. So I just drew 2 circles on the map, centered on the 2 locations that this person was closest to. And I made the radius of each circle 174 kilometers or 108 miles. And as we can see, those 2 circles intersect in 2 spots, one in the southwest and one in the northeast. Now the southwest location is in Yarlington, which is in Somerset County, and I was pretty sure that that was not a marshy area near a beach. So I looked at the northeast location. And that was actually in the middle of a body of water. It's in a bay called the Wash. That is a kind of rectangular-shaped bay that forms kind of this indentation on the east coast of England. And the surrounding areas are kind of marshy. So I figured that's probably where I should be looking. But like I said, the specific spot that my circles gave me was in the middle of the water, so that was probably not right. But I figured it was near there somewhere. So I started trying to figure out where there might be a boardwalk-type path near there. So I did some Googling, and it didn't take too long to discover something called the Norfolk Coast Path. And I found this article that showed me an image that looked very much like what I was seeing in the video. Okay, but the path is like 83 miles long, or 134 kilometers. Now, not all of it is boardwalk like we see in the video. Some of it's just a dirt path. And I was encouraged to find that there's actually street view coverage on a good portion of that trail. But then I discovered that most of those pictures are kind of old, and also they don't necessarily show some of the new pieces of boardwalk that have been installed or repaired. But I just started looking around, trying to see if I could find any spot where the surroundings seemed to match what I saw in the video. And guys, I looked for a long time, but I eventually spotted what I was pretty sure was the house that we see in the video. And while the house itself looked right to me, I was having trouble making any of the other landmarks line up exactly. So I knew I was close, but I wasn't exactly in the right spot. But I was feeling fairly optimistic at that point, so I spent another 20 or 30 minutes looking around, and I eventually found this bench. And guys, that was it. You are here on the Norfolk Coast Path in Hunstanton in the United Kingdom. Like I said, the street view photos were a little bit older and the quality wasn't great. But I was able to get several views that matched the video, including this view where that house is actually present, though you really can't make it out. This view to the southeast showing some of that marshy area, and also this view facing roughly west. Okay, it's time to check which previous location is closest to this one. And as you may have guessed, it's one of the ones I named before. It was actually the one from Season 1, Episode 193 in London. That's about 103 miles or 166 kilometers away from this spot, which incidentally tells us that our equilateral triangle wasn't quite equilateral. And that spot that we found, which is out in the middle of the water, was about 5.5 miles or almost 9 kilometers away from the actual spot. But guys, I don't care. This was a fun one. International Week is still going, guys, and it is definitely going to continue past the end of this week. So come back next time as we spin the globe and see where we land. If anybody else wants me to find them, record a video where you say, "Find me, Jose Monkey," or something like that on camera, or hold up a sign that says something similar. And don't forget to tag me in a comment on that video.